most important tools that you can use in a relationship. And in the case of relationships, it's always good to do this with your girl because then you know how to reward. What it means is that if it's not the appropriate love language, then she might still feel untended. So let's go ahead and go through the 5 love languages. So the first of the 5 love languages is 5 love language is one of the most important tools that you can use in a relationship. A lot of people don't apply it correctly. They assume it applies to them. You got to know your partner's love language. And in the case of relationships, it's always good to do this with your girl because then you know how to reward her when she's doing really well. And she can do the same. So what it is basically you look at her love language or her top 2 or maybe even her top 3. Let's hope it's not gifts, otherwise you're going to be buying her lots of things. But we'll talk about how you can get over that. So there's 5 love languages. And this is in this way, you know what she wants most. And it can change. Sometimes you guys might take the test 1 year and it's different 3 years later. But generally it should be about the same. It shouldn't change too much. And by doing this, it'll allow you to really get a good deep bond in your relationship. It gives you the ability to bond closer with your girl. And this is predominantly because it allows you to understand what the best way to reward her. I see a lot of guys that I work with, they'll buy their girls gifts, but they don't even really like gifts that much. They just want quality time together or they want physical touch. So let's go ahead and go through the 5 love languages. The first of the 5 love languages is gifts. So gifts is common. It's what people think people want. You see this all the time where the girl's like, I didn't really want that, you know? And guys very often think get them out of things or make up for things or anything that they may have done wrong. It's always gifts. People like gifts. Everyone likes gifts. Let's not lie about that. Let's not beat around the bush. Everyone loves getting gifts. But we always have to consider whether or not it's the appropriate love language for your girl. What it means is that if it's not the appropriate love language, then she might still feel untended. She might feel like you're not really listening to her or identifying what she really needs. But what happens is when she is gifts, you always want to make sure that it matches whatever was done. Or if you want to get her like a small gift relative to some accomplishment or something like that, you get her a small gift. It could be something at the grocery store, like you buy something small extra, right? Like buy a treat that she likes, or you happen to be out and about shopping, you might grab something small. Now, if the gift is for something much larger, then you might buy something a little bit larger. But I want to be clear with all you men. The gift shouldn't be unwarranted. You shouldn't just be buying gifts just to buy gifts. Some people are givers, so there's obviously some nuance there, and they just like buying gifts for people. But is it coming from a place of, I want to buy this gift for, or is it coming from the place of, I want to get a little bit more affection, I want to get a little bit more interaction? So you always need to consider, am I buying her this because I'm trying to make up for something or some other reason, or am I buying it for her for a legitimate reason? The second one is physical touch. Now, if your girl has physical touch as one of her top love languages, props to you, because that's one of the easiest ones. It doesn't have to be, it's usually not sexually related. It's usually just related to physical touch. Any sort of touch. Could be a hug, could be a kiss, could be slapping her butt, could be anything, but it is typically non-sexual. And why I include that last one is because oftentimes that can be more playful and more fun, and it will be her love language. It's that physical affection. As you already know, there's already tons of research on like the physical touch between babies and parents or babies and other kids. It doesn't change. It doesn't just go away. That's just the most instrumental part of our lives when it becomes really important. So what I want you to understand is that physical touch could be small, it could be big, it could be a wide variety of things, but any sort of physical touch. The key component to understand about the physical touch love language is that it's not sexual. It shouldn't be a sexual thing. It shouldn't be like it's escalating towards something, because then she's always going to see something else. Every time you try to touch her, she's going to assume you want something. So you're already going in from a bad spot. So physical touch is in relation to what she likes and what she enjoys. Like I said, all of these love languages are something she wants to get. Your love language personally doesn't matter. Now, in the group that we talk about, we have strategies on how to work with your own love language to make your relationship even better. And if you want to talk about that, click the links. You'll see them. So let's get back to the physical touch. If she wants physical touch, it could be anything. The key component to remember is it's non-sexual. And there's lots of different ways. I have tools for this for the guys that we work with in the community. They're just not really sure. They get in the same problem as a lot of other guys get in. Maybe you can relate. What happens is a guy will, touch his girl, and then she'll touch him back or something, and then automatically he'll try to escalate to sex every single time. And she's like, no, that's not what I want. I just want some physical touch. It's her love language. The third love language is words of affirmation. So words of affirmation, like physical touch, is also very easy to employ. You can give her positive things. You can say positive things. You can be productive. You can send her texts. You can talk to her actually. It's words of affirmation, meaning you're giving her some sort of positive words to herself. If you're living your life in a very positive way, this is very easy for you to do. It should just come naturally to say positive things when you recognize positive things about her. And she's going to love to hear it, right? And she's going to reward you, and she's going to be happy, and she's going to be like, I don't know what this guy's doing. For some reason, he's just pushing all my buttons. Words of affirmation is really easy. It can be compliments. One of the areas here that guys need to watch out for is they don't want to give too many compliments. Words of affirmation as a love language can get guys in a lot of trouble. It can get guys in a lot of trouble because they just keep giving compliments. Oh, you're so beautiful, you're so pretty, blah, blah, blah. Whatever it is, it has to be more things that are a little bit deeper. It can't just be physical appearance. It's got to be things that are less obvious. Someone that only like a partner or someone deep in a relationship with you would really know. You have to be able to understand the difference between what's appropriate and what's not appropriate. And like I said, we talk about this in the community all the time. How to effectively use words of affirmation in a relationship. Quality time is the next love language. And this one's also easy. It does require a little bit more of an investment though, because physical touch you can do any time of the day. You can do whenever you guys are doing anything, right? You can do it when you go to a restaurant. You can do it when you're in the car. You can do it any time. It doesn't require additional investment. Quality time is a little bit more difficult because it might require that you spend some time. And if you got a busy schedule, if you got a really full schedule with the kids or with workouts or with working on your health, cooking, whatever it may be, whatever you're busy with, quality time does require a little bit of time. Can you multitask? Sure. You can do things like cooking together. Cooking a meal together would be considered quality time. Taking a walk, spending time with the kids together. She might not see it as quality time though, so you always got to be careful with that one. Are you guys actually interacting, or is it like parallel play and the kids are kind of doing their thing? That's the real key there. Let's think about parallel play. Are we next to each other, or are we actually interacting and doing something with each other? Quality time requires more of an investment, just like gifts. So you have to be very strategic about it. You have to be very strategic on how much quality time you're going to give her based on how the relationship is going and based on where you guys are at currently. Once again, in our community, we talk about specific strategies to be able to help get quality time with your girl. Last one is acts of service. Acts of service is also an investment. You're going to have to do things for her. I typically advise men to do small things because they don't need to do grand gestures. They don't need to be planning massive vacations. They don't need to be, buying her a car as a gift, but it could also be considered a grand gesture, an act of service if she needed a car, if she doesn't have a car. Whatever it may be, it could always be little things. Sometimes acts of service could be as simple as if she normally takes care of all the household duties, you might offer to go help her with something. Listen to this very importantly, because if her love language isn't acts of service, then you go do the dishes, now you might begin to understand her mind count for anything. It doesn't account for anything because her love language isn't acts of service. She doesn't really care about acts of service that much. So what I want you to do is I want you to take the love language test because I think it's a very good tool for everyone. I want you to think about her 5 love languages. Think about how you can reward her in her 5 love languages. I would always pick the top 2. Top 1 is the biggest one that you want to hit, but you can hit the top 2. Sometimes people even do the top 3. If it's acts of service or gifts, you got to be a little bit more creative with how you're going to do it. If it's physical touch, if it's quality time, words of affirmation, you're in the green.